Today, I would like to talk to you about a very interesting topic, and it's called identity. You know, in the new age today, we talk about a lot of things. It's actually being overflooded by words, and I think eventually this desire of expressing ourselves will chill off a little bit, and we're gonna start really thinking and talking about the things of which many times we try to talk a lot, but we don't have the courage to deepen in. Identity. You know, when I faced the phenomena of death and dying and the phenomena of being super vulnerable in those moments of losing the people I loved, I cannot tell you, it is hard. Really, it's hard. You know, it's hard to understand in one point, for instance, in my case, that I'm nobody's child anymore because my both parents passed away. But because it was so hard, I allowed myself to crack open completely in the vulnerable moments of self, and I cracked. And what was cracking was really these identities which I was trying to put on myself and identify with. So I was the daughter, and then I was the successful manager, and then I was before a successful sporter. Okay, you know, I was valued. I was something in this society, so I'm cool. But subconsciously, you know, the real self, the true nature, who does not need labels and identifications from the outside, was basically just waiting for this moment of me to surrender to it. And what I've noticed is that the path of surrendering can be, for many humans, scary because we don't talk about it. And what happens is at the beginning you fall in a kind of empty space of nothingness, and we become amazingly scared of this nothingness because we're coming from this space of so many abundant things and thoughts and emotions that we have no idea whatsoever what to do once we are in this space of nothingness. I can tell you, just, you know, persist in that space of nothingness. You might feel weird, your body might feel expanding, you know, you might really feel, but in the same time, I assure you, if you don't panic, there's going to be even an enormous quantity of very nice things you're going to see. Your eyes are going to blink different when you're going to look in the mirror because you're going to be more present. But as I said, it's time now that we start sharing what are we going on, or better, you know, what is an identity crisis in the first place? Because for me, an identity crisis, I start to find out every single time I allow myself to go into one. It's not that I'm going to buy myself now a Harley Davidson and get all nuts. It is more that I'm trying to loosen up those sticky projections from me and maybe the environment being done on me, who I'm supposed to be. It's like a kind of, you know, like a spring cleaning. You clean all that shit that doesn't belong to you because you are just what you are. And let me explain that, you know, the Spirit explained it very clear to me that we should, if we really want to identify with something, then we should start maybe with the so-called flowing identity. Maybe that one is going to be a little bit more understandable, which means we are like little children. You know, we don't identify with anything. We're just flowing. So if you want to identify something, then identify with the flow. Identify with the flow of life. The flow of life is no box. The flow of life, every single morning you wake up and you have no idea whatsoever who you are. And basically many times even what you're going to do. Let's say, for myself now, I know that my path is to, for the next, let's say, months, because I allow the flow to make my time schedule to share. My book is being right now called Vulnerable. It is about this path of mine. How I surrender myself to the lessons of death, how I went to the Camino de Santiago, this pilgrimage path, and understand things about life. And, you know, it's all about, I know now, I need to devote myself to the message. I need to do things to create the message, to create this beautiful flow, to touch as many hearts as I can. And it's like this, you know, I start my day without any planning. I sit, I do my meditation, and then things come. And today, let's say, I was in absolute no mood whatsoever to make a video. I was more in a mood to meditate and stuff like that because it's full moon and it's really, you know, it's not the right day for things like this. But I decided, I didn't decide it, the flow decided, you know, that this information simply needs to get out, and I just allow it to go out. So I'm just allowing to flow. And this flow, you know, can be even very grounded. People think that the flow, it's very, yeah, that you're not grounded. But grounded means being fully present in the moment. It means, you know, allowing this alignment with life to create new opportunities and moments. And the obsession with identities and the obsession with material, the obsession with time schedules, with project manager and all these kind of stories came out now. Humanity survived very well before the last 30 years when we stepped into this madness of controlling. And, you know, when you're gonna look in the mirror, look in your eyes and start wondering whose box I am now into stepping, you're not going to find out the answer, because those boxes are being such a fake from the fakes, from the fakes, from the fakes, that it's better, you know, just to ask another question. Who I want to belong to, and what's up with this feeling of belonging, that I'm willing to make so many stupid things. And trust me, when I use stupid, I'm really very, very compassionate. I don't think you're stupid. It just, you know, sometimes we got to be a little bit funny. You know, you just wonder, like, how many times do I compromise myself to belong to society, to belong to family, to belong. Please think about belonging in correlation with identity. I can assure you that in that empty space, one of the beautiful things that comes as a bonus is you understand that you do belong to holiness and to this oneness of creation. And let's go beyond just the feeling of belonging to a human being, because you belong to all and you belong to everything. It's pretty overwhelming. And that feeling of belonging, that feeling of oneness is actually the space from which you start feeding even those wounds, you know, that are somehow placed in the inner child. It is from that space that you can really embrace the pain for good. And it is from that space of oneness that actually we can help each other. So when I feel the oneness, I can help you, and when you feel it, you can help me. And even maybe not just physically, the magic of this oneness is that it's oneness, which means it's one organism, which means everything I talk to you now, all the thoughts that are being on the other side created in your mind now, or in your heart, or in your body, are part of our own common experience. And even when there are no thoughts, when it's just the experience, I'll be now a little bit deeper, it's everything one experience. So, I'm really cheering for you guys to step in your own shoes, and to step in your shoes every single split second of your life. Don't clinch on things, because anyway they're collapsing. And I think there's going to be in the future a lot of burnouts, depression, anxieties, just as a warning that we need to let go the fake identity with whom we identify, and to stop playing this game that's not giving us that much pleasure, isn't it? You belong. And down there, deep inside, you know it. And you're perfect for what you are. And down there, you know even that. So, have a nice ride. Being without doing. And share. You know, and share can be even just by being. That doesn't mean you have to jump immediately on YouTube and start sharing and whatever, when that's not your path. Sharing even means just being love. Because in that empty space, after we deal with our fear of being in the empty space and in the silence, comes an overwhelming joy. If I can express it in a feeling, because we humans like feeling, but the feeling may be or let's say the sensations in the body are much more connected with a kind of feeling of expansion and neutrality, and really deep peace. Even when, let's say, your body or your mind is not in peace, because you decided in one point you're going to be vulnerable, but yet the spirit is peace, and you can be everything in the same split second of creation. Thanks for listening. Sat Nam, and let's see when the next time the flow wants something to be shared.